Wow, huh? Okay, Sophia Nelson with us now. She's a CNN opinion contributor, former counsel for the House Republican Investigative Committee, and the founder and president of Childless Chicks for Harris. Oh, you're funny. Okay, so Sophia, and you're wearing pink and green. Does that tell me that you're an AKA?
Come on, Fred,
okay.
you know better.
I actually never knew that, but
well,
okay, now we all know. Okay, I got it. All right, so Sophia, the Harris campaign isn't trying to dignify a lot of this, instead saying this is very divisive. That is out of the old playbook of Donald Trump that has been seen before. But you hear people who are advocating for Donald Trump, it seems to be sticking with them. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's sticking with them. But listen, I think the vice president got it right the other day when she spoke at the funeral of our soror, Sheila Jackson Lee, when she said, America deserves better. This is the year of our Lord 2024. The fact that a presidential candidate of a major party would go to NABJ and in front of an entire black audience of journalists and demean the sitting black female vice president, the first woman vice president in the history of the country. And, you know, Fred, I wrote about this in my Atlanta Journal article this past week about the one-drop rule. And clearly a lot of people in this country aren't familiar with what that means, and you've got to go back and learn a little history. This country was set up in a way that was slavery and then post-slavery Reconstruction into Jim Crow, that one drop of black blood in you identified you as black. And Kamala Harris has been clear her entire life who she is. She went to Howard. She pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. You can't get any blacker than that, to be real honest with you. So I don't know what this nonsense is about, but I think she's correct that the country deserves better from the nominee of the Republican Party than this racist, misogynist line of attack.
But so far it seems to be working, at least for Trump, right? Because he's done this kind of thing before, whether it was the birtherism, and there's a litany of other examples as well. But I wonder, in your article, which was a great write, you talk about just this kind of display underscores that Donald Trump should not be a leader of a multicultural nation, a country where at least 10% of the population, and that's 33 million people who identify as biracial or multiracial.
Fred, as you know, I have two nieces who are biracial. They have a white mother and a black father, and they are the light of my life. And the reality is that when they were little, we taught them, you're going to be black women when you grow up. They're now young women. And the truth is, we all know this. And I think that what bothers me about this working for Trump, campaigns are about addition, not subtraction. Yes, it gets his base excited. Yes, it coalesces his base, but he's turning off independents. He's turning off moderate Republicans. Republicans for Harris launched today 40,000 people on social media. They're going to have a call. There is a movement for Vice President Harris that is multi-generational, multicultural. And this country, as you know, in just, 5 years will be majority minority. So I don't know what Republicans are doing. They're subtracting, they're not adding.
And you were a longtime Republican. And in this AJC article you wrote, I'm going to quote now, I think we have a full screen of it. Whatever happens, the Republican Party has to start over in 2025 and finally lean into the 21st century. Republicans are living in a time warp. Trump and his vice presidential pick, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, showcased this defect nearly every time they speak. They need to start listening to former Republicans, including me and others who have been trying to tell them for 25 years that this train wreck on race and gender equality was always coming. So now, are you hearing anything? You still have Republican friends, while you may not necessarily be in the party or associate yourself with being in the party anymore. Are you hearing any discussions about this kind of reckoning that you're writing about?
There are a lot of former moderate Republicans like myself and those who came out for Harris today that are very concerned about the collapse of Lincoln's Republican Party, of the Republican Party of Margaret Chase Smith, of Dwight Eisenhower, of good people who led this country in a positive way, both black and white. And so I think that Trumpism and MAGA is going to have to die out. before the Republican Party can have any shot, Fred, of coming back and having a rebirth, which is going to have to happen. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because they haven't listened to my advice, Michael Steele's advice, or anybody's advice. And we've been saying it for decades, not just now.
All right. Sophia Nelson, great to see you.
You too.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.